You know what? I gotta change things up. So I've added a little intro music. What do you think? Anytime you just have a jazzy whistle, it just puts you in a mood. Hi, welcome to today's Snackable. I'm your insight instigator and occasional DJ, Whitney Hahn. And today we're going to see if we can help the nonprofits in the audience make Giving Tuesday just a little bit more giving, a little bit bigger and better. Trying out a new format today. Lots of things. You know me, I'm always experimenting with something. So I appreciate your feedback on this one. But I thought a few visuals would help here as we discuss messaging for nonprofits that can really help power up your end of year giving. Giving Tuesday is just under 10 years old. It's a relatively new holiday. I'll use the air quotes here, but it's a way to help remind us civilians that generosity is something that is great to practice, particularly near the end of the year. The nonprofits are trying to make sure that they have exactly what they need to continue with their great programs. And sometimes we're looking for a tax donation. So it's a win-win situation. The problem is that many nonprofits don't really have a lot of creativity behind their Giving Tuesday messages. It's kind of bland, vanilla stuff like, hey, it's Giving Tuesday. Don't you want to support us? And they really haven't done a good job of connecting us with the mission or connecting us as a potential donor with what's in it for us. Even as we give money, there's a reason we're giving it. There's something that's connecting us to this giving. And it's the nonprofit's responsibility to help draw that out. So, on today's Snackable, I hope to give you a few tips on how to do that. And we'll take a look at one nonprofit that I think is doing a really good job of it. And maybe that'll give you some ideas for how you can do it as well. Cool. So, let me shrink my big fat head here. And the very first thing we're going to do is take you to a resource. Shrink the head. There we go. This is a free resource. Just go to mystorybrand.com. They'll ask you to set up a free account. They'll ask you a couple of demographic questions. And then what you get is this online digital brand script. Now, I'm a big fan of story. I've used storytelling elements for over 15 years, producing great videos, including some fundraising videos that help nonprofits get thousands and thousands of dollars in extra donations. And the structure of StoryBrand that I use for videos is the same structure that you can use to create social media messages, email campaign messages, special end of year asks, and everything related to Giving Tuesday campaign material that you want to develop. So go to mystorybrand.com, get that free account, and then your digital platform, you're going to see actually allows you to click in each one of these story module sections and gives you some prompts on how to build your story, starting with the character. Now, the very first thing you need to understand for writing a message for your nonprofit is that you actually have two different types of message structures. You don't want to mix them and match them in any particular message, but you could find a way to use them both. So let's take a look at what each of those are. The first one is your mission-based script. And again, by script, I mean those 7 story elements that we just saw in the StoryBrand framework. Every nonprofit needs to create a mission-based script. It's what talks about the recipients of your services as the heroes of their own stories. This could be the African mom who is trying to get clean water for her family. This could be the local farmer who is trying to connect his and her produce with the local consumers. This could be an environmental agency that wants to make sure that we have pollinators around for forever. I like all of those things, right? So in creating a mission-based script, you put the people that you serve or the animals or whatever it is at the center of the story. That's the character, if you will, what StoryBrand calls the hero of the story. And we want to see the rest of that story supporting the character, supporting, in this case, the recipient of your services. Case studies and testimonials are great to use here. You can talk about how someone's life was like before they had access to clean water, for example, and then what your organization did to help them get clean water safely, and then what their life is like after. Showing that transformation is such a compelling storytelling technique. You can use it for Giving Tuesday and in every single campaign message. Show the before, how did your organization help, and what their life is like after. This is how you connect a potential donor, whether it's of my time, my treasure, or my talents, to your organization. mission-based script is the one that every nonprofit needs to have. There's a second type that you optionally can add as well, and that's the donor-based script. The donor-based script puts the donor as the hero, and it can be effective as well. By contributing, the donor is fulfilling a need too. We want to enlarge our legacy. We want to build a better world. We want to increase justice. There are reasons that we feel like we want to connect ourselves with the success that your organization is helping to bring about. That's what a donor-based script does. So now that I've given you the quick reviews, let's look at those script components again for just a moment. Remember, in the mission-based script, the one script that everyone must have, you want to put the recipient of your service right here in the character. They're the hero. They're the ones going through the adventure. Even if the adventure is kind of bleak before, the pre-transformational adventure, it's always rough, right? Then what's the problem? Okay, the problem could be I don't have access to clean water. It's unsafe for me to trek 5 miles through the African jungle to try to get clean water, and it puts myself and my family at risk when I don't have it. Okay, those are problem statements. If you're working for the environment and you're trying to make sure that pollinators are here to make sure that our plants are healthy, well, what's the problem? Well, the bee is having a hard time. And why is that? Well, because pollution is up, because pesticide use may be up, because access to the types of wildflowers that are typically native to the area are down. These are all problems. Your organization then comes in as the guide. That's our third piece here. And the guide is the person, or in this place, the organization, the institution that is credible and empathetic. They're in the position to solve this problem, and the donor is helping. So the donor almost becomes a sidekick, if you will, with the organization. And together you guys are helping resolve this issue that your main character has, that the recipient of your program is facing. And that's exactly why you're in business in the first place, right? In a Giving Tuesday campaign, it can be kind of tricky to talk about all 7 elements here. So I've highlighted the 3 that I find are most important and critical. Understanding the character, the recipient of your program, understanding what their problems are, and understanding what, as a potential donor, I need to do to help resolve those problems. Now, this may seem obvious to you, but you would be surprised at how many campaigns I review where the call to action, it's a little weak. It's soft, it's confusing, and sometimes it's not even there. The call to action is the thing that triggers people to take response. It is how they respond. It may be as simple as a donate now button. It may be volunteer now. It may be take the pollinator safety pledge, and I'm going to vow to plant 5 native flowering plants in my garden for spring. It could be that, and any of those are okay. The point is that whatever it is, you need to be as specific and clear and concise as possible, because you don't want people being confused, burning extra calories, and trying to figure out what it is you want from them. So make it really, really easy for them to go there. Let me give you an example of an organization I think is doing all of these things well. This is Heifer International. And perhaps you know this organization, but if you don't, what they do is they help people around the world get animals in their lives that can help them raise their own food, create their own clothing. They've just added, this is relatively new, the gift of a honeybee farm on here. And all of these things help them with not just their own needs, but in some cases help them to generate revenue, which helps them take care of their families and their communities as well. So as I look at the homepage for Heifer International, I see right away, I understand what it is they do. They are in the business rather of connecting animals. Giving an animal is like giving someone a small business, providing wool, milk, eggs, and more. And our picture here is something of the after transformation. It's a person that they've helped. The problem is implied in the homepage here on the website, but what we see is success. And one of the things that I learned decades ago when I first started working with nonprofits is that most people don't give to need, they do give to success. They want to see images of your program's recipients succeeding because of the work that you've done. And I think that's particularly critical during Giving Tuesday time. We want to feel like as a donor, we want to feel like we're on the winning team. We are moving the needle towards success. We're helping create a safer planet. We're helping create a greener planet. Whatever it is, we want to feel like we're on the right side of it and we're winning. So images can help you really demonstrate that a great deal. So we understand who we're helping. We understand what it is we're doing. Big calls to action here on the homepage. Donate now or look at a gift catalog. Find My Match, I think, is a great little benefit here that Heifer International has created as well, because if I'm unsure, they want to make it easy for me, right? That yellow brick road to donate, to volunteer, to give you my time, talent, or treasures, whatever that might look like. Okay? So just a couple of ideas there. Excuse me. StoryBrand is here to help you with this with a couple of podcasts. These are brand new. You'll notice the dates on these, November 3rd and November 10th. And they took 2 half-hour podcasts to talk specifically about how you can use this story structure for nonprofits. The first one is the one that talks about the mission-based script and the donor-based script in more detail than I have time to share with you today. And then part 2 talks about the 4 different types of wow, totally lost the frame. The 4 different types of That's what happens when you record video live. The types of nonprofit work, basically what they're talking about is helping you understand if you're in the business of offering relief, development, empowerment, or justice. There we go. Whew. It was worth the wait, wasn't it? That's okay. So go to Apple Podcasts or wherever you find your favorite podcast. And I strongly encourage you to listen to those 2. Just in that hour that you'll spend between those 2 podcast episodes, I am confident that you will be able to improve your marketing messages and really make a difference in your Giving Tuesday campaigns and throughout all of your giving campaigns. Finally, there's a way that you can work with me if you would like to fast track your marketing results. Again, because I'm a certified StoryBrand guide and a Business Made Simple coach, I am well connected with the StoryBrand community, and I find over and over again that the structure that they bring to story helps connect businesses with clients, nonprofits with donors, great candidates with great jobs. The live stream happens December 6th and 7th, and it is a way for you to really create all 5 of the major components that you need for any successful marketing campaign. You can attend just the live stream, and during the breakout sessions, can choose to be in my breakout coaching room. So you get to work with me and the other people in that small group environment as you're developing the core pieces of your materials. Or you can get some optional upgrades, including an action toolkit or additional coaching from me, so that even after the workshop, you can be sure that your materials are completely tuned in, finish refining the text and the copy points that you use, and confidently launch that. So if you want to get more information on that, please go to provokebetter.com/2-day workshop and just register through the website. You'll get on a live registration call with me, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. So I hope that has helped you understand how your nonprofit can make the most of Giving Tuesday and, in fact, power up your campaigns all year long. If you have additional questions, just email Whitney@provokebetter.com. And thanks for joining today's discussion. Yeah, we'll call it that. Take care, y'all.